Morgan Stewart is a model, actress, reality star, television host, and entrepreneur, and a sport for coming onto a show because I kind of hazed her a little bit years ago on my failed talk show about being on a show called Rich Kids of Beverly Hills. So I give her credit for coming on. Her career took off as a star on the E! reality series Rich Kids of Beverly Hills. A life like that certainly must come with its stereotypes. But we sit down to discuss the details of her journey from her own perspective. This is Just Be with Morgan Stewart. So I don't know if I do, but I keep saying to myself, I think I owe her an apology because I've never gone back and watched the time that you were on the talk show, but I know the tone from either like rumblings or I don't know why I think that that I gave you guys too hard a time. And I'm not even going to say that. I'm not going to make an excuse that producers do prep you and say, this is like this revolting show about all these rich kids, because I hadn't seen the show.
Right.
But you get these papers and they're, as you know, hi, and these are these kids that are these rich kids. And it's there. And I guess, the producers wanted there to be like this salacious segment. And so, and I guess to be perfectly honest, a show called Rich Kids of Beverly Hills does sound partially vile. So I came on and I don't remember what, but I remember there being you being the blonde, pretty cute girl on the end, and your boyfriend at the time seemed like this waspy Beverly Hills, half a nice kid, half a douchebag, and okay, so I apologize if I was like better than or bitchy or whatever you perceive me to have been or me to have really been.
Well, first of all, I appreciate you even saying that. And I watched it back not too long ago, and I was so self-aware, and I think we all were, that we kind of welcomed that interaction with the audience as well, because of course the name was vile. The name was sprung up on us last minute. Nobody signed on to that show being like, we're signing on Rich Kids of Beverly Hills. It was an entitled project. So I remember almost my takeaway from that experience was feeling invigorated. Like, I'm not the person you think I am. Let's watch the show. Obviously, to use your word, it was a little vile at times and a little bit obnoxious, of course. But I definitely felt like my reaction might have shifted post leaving your set, because I think the people around us who were kind of our caretakers of the day were like, let's go. That was just not what we expected. And then I was I guess it wasn't. But then I was like, bring it on. Like, we have to kind of be aware that this is going to be the reaction of like the average American person. So it wasn't all terrible.
I get it, but what show was I on? Nice Poets of Des Moines. No,
But Real Housewives versus Rich Kids is not, you know what I mean?
Well, the name, but I'm talking about the actual show. I didn't see your show, but I don't know how much more disgusting it could have been than what's going on right now in Housewives. No, I can't imagine.
It's definitely different, but yes, I get what you're saying.
Okay, hilarious. So I get what you're saying too, and I appreciate it. And, nobody's going to accuse me of being edited or filtered. So,
no.
All right. So we met then, and, but it was on for 4 seasons. Like, that's not nothing. Now that I, have institutional knowledge about that sort of thing, that's not nothing. So it was a success by everyone's standards.
I guess so. I mean, the whole time we filmed the show, the network kind of played that game, which you guys probably never had because the show's so massively successful. But with us, it was like, I don't know if it's going to be another season. The ratings are, over 500,000 now. They're getting like nobody. I was like, I never felt, looking back now, I'm like the show was a success. During it, we never were made to feel like it was doing well. We never had an audience. I got married on the show to my ex-husband, and we had like 1 million overnights. That is, as you know, like unheard of for E! Right?
No, that's amazing.
And I remember them calling and being like, or it was like 950,000. And they were like, but you didn't hit 1 million. So
no, but I'm so glad you're bringing this up, because when back in the dark ages, when I was on reality television and we didn't even have Twitter in the beginning. Right. So, and I was instrumental in this. They didn't give us the ratings. That was not something we got for several seasons. We didn't get the ratings. It wasn't something that was emailed. And I remember going all the way up to the heads and saying, like, why are we playing hide and seek? Like, why don't you send, we had to fish and find them and look it up on the internet and find it from other people's and these sites that Bravo would say aren't real. And we'd find it out in the press or some other way for years. And there was no way to negotiate because you didn't know what anything meant and you didn't know what even ratings meant. But they never told us like the ratings or that there were ratings. We were dummies. We were dummies. So finally, after years, and it was the second time I came back, I think, unless I don't think I'm mixing. No, I'm not mixing stories. I would say, why don't you send us once a week an email? saying this is the ratings. And also, if we've done well, why don't you tell us we've done well, which never really happened because they always want to keep you down. It wasn't like, why don't you say, hey, this is great.
Yeah. No. That's negotiation tactics. That's why they don't send you ratings, because your ratings are, that's why I think it's almost legally now that they have to.
Yeah.
But then when you're children or whatever, you don't know what a good rating is. So I was like, God, this show is just not making it. Looking back, the dumbest thing they could have done for their network, not for my life, was cancel that show.
Oh, fair. Could have gone on forever.
It could have. That was like the last show that had legitimate ratings. I'm not shitting on E, but I'm just saying, like,
no, that's interesting. That's interesting.
You know?
Yeah, I didn't even think of it that way because it could have been, it's a franchise. It could have been Rich Kids of everything, just like Sunset selling everything. Funny that I didn't think of that. So, but I don't think I know there's a girl only because I think she's friends with Kyle and I've seen her on social media, Dorothy Wang. I don't know what she does, but she seems to be a big personality. And I don't know who else was on that show. So did anybody else break out? Because it feels like when I think of you, I think about there was a bachelorette that really broke out and she did a lot of like work. I think her name was Allie maybe for a while. She did a lot of work and I always noticed that she really got a lot of hosting gigs and things. Yep. And I think about Kristen Cavallari, who really, broke out. I mean, I know Lauren did too, but in a different way. Less
in a like a company, like making money behind the scenes way.
Yeah. And Kristen did that too, but I get the sense that she's more socially relevant than the company is like blowing it out, but I don't actually know.
You're right.
Yeah, I get that sense. So what about you? So did you have, did you think, I'm going to make this into something? I'm going to be playing chess. Did you think, or did you just get lucky after? Like, or are you hardcore about it?
I think I knew before the show, like I always wanted to do something like that. I not be on a reality show, but be successful. And just the fact that I was always engaging and pretty funny and outspoken. And my personality was like my only real gift. So I was like, it's going to be in some sort of format of television. I just knew that was going to happen. And we had tried actually before Rich Kids with another company and nothing ever came of it. And then when Rich Kids happened, I just knew, I don't know, it was gut instinct. I knew something was going to come after. And so I did the 4 seasons and I treated it like a job the whole time. Like I was very serious about it. I knew that like I was going to be on time. I didn't think I was important or special. Like I knew that this moment could be gone in 2 seconds. So I think I had a pretty good reputation behind the scenes, which is like important. People don't want to deal with you. You're a pain in the ass. Yeah. So I went into that at 26, like knowing, okay, you can't be an asshole. This is serious. And then towards the end of Rich Kids, E came to me separately and was like, look, we really want to explore a further relationship with you. We think you have something, like, let's see what that is. And once the show ended, I signed a deal with them to work at the actual network. And I did some digital stuff. And that kind of snowballed into doing Daily Pop for them. Because Kat Sadler coincidentally decided to leave. So there was a spot opening. So,
and she was on the Daily Pop?
Yeah, she was the host of that show. And even the executive producer of Daily Pop was like, I'm never going to have this fucking girl on. Like, she doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. And it just worked out. So then I did Daily Pop and then they wanted to do a nighttime show and they were actually outsourcing comedians. Like they were scouting for someone else to host it. And I went into the office. I was like, nobody's going to host a show but me. This is why you brought me here. Like, I need to host this nighttime show. This is my long-term goal. That was always the goal. And that worked out as well. So I just ended that in November after 5 years. So I was there for 6 years. So when you say
walked in, you were like at E all the time and like the way it is on the show with Katherine Heigl, you were like going down the hall to the office. Like,
so once I was finishing Rich Kids, they
signed up. I'm referring to, right? Is that what I'm referring to? Knocked up, right?
When she's pregnant the whole time, they're like, "What?"
Yeah.
No, so they offered me a contract post Rich Kids, and that was like basically like a 9 to 5. Like you're gonna work here, you're gonna come.
Really?
Yeah, and you're gonna do digital content, and we're gonna see if this even works out. We'll see.
Interesting.
And so I did that, and that 1 year deal turned into 6 years.
So I gather, knowing the powers that be and knowing the genre, you definitely didn't make a lot of money at Rich Kids at all. I could literally bullseye what you made, and it's like everyone thinks you're rich because ironically you're a rich kid, but you're not a rich kid from that show. And E too. Yeah. So exactly. You're thinking about how you're going to monetize it in the bigger picture. And did you grow up? Was it more like they marketed you as that, or did you grow up a very wealthy person by the nation standards? Yes, but by Beverly Hills standards.
Yeah, no, I grew up comfortable. It definitely was not on the level of billions of dollars. Dorothy, who was my friend and castmate, was like the wealthy by like global standards.
Oh, that's what I was at. Okay.
And that was really sort of why we were all at the beginning taken aback by sort of the title. Cause I was like, you're putting us all in a position now where we sort of have to like uphold this sort of, not facade, but just embellish. Like I am not.
Like you weren't flying private and driving a
Bentley. No.
Right.
No. And like at that point, I feel like now this is going to bite me in the ass, but like private seems to be a lot more accessible.
No, this is literally what I was saying to you. I was going to say like back when when we were kids, what other people were is not what goes on now. So there's rich and then there's rich. All the people on the Housewives are not like real rich.
Right. But and also,
they're rich, and a lot of them are faking and renting and all the bullshit, and that's happened across and bankruptcying. But like, fuck you, crazy rich in Beverly Hills is astronomical, and that's why I was asking.
And also, to simplify it, the best way you can put it is those people are not on TV.
Thank you. Okay, so your parents, you have brothers and sisters. What's your
I have an older brother. I have an older brother, but we have different dads. But so my mom was married before, had my brother. He's 7 years older.
And your parents are not together?
My parents are together. They've been together.
That's from her other marriage. So your parents are together.
Yeah.
Okay, and they're still
they're those weird people that love each other and have breakfast, lunch, and dinner together. And
that's weird. Yeah, they're weird.
Yeah, it's like 45 years together now or something, 43 years.
Suzanne Summers is weird like that. Like they work together, they're together all day, and her husband, they live for each other. I'm like, please don't tell me anymore. So, and you're close with them?
I'm very close with both my parents. I talk to my mom all day, every day. My dad and I are very close, and we're close in different ways. But that is the one thing that I think that has stood out for me my whole life. Like I got really lucky in that sense. Like we are just a little threesome. That's weird to say, but we're
a team, a pod.
A pod. Yes.
And they're quote unquote normal. They're civilians. They're not like entertainment Hollywood type people.
Not at all. Totally normal. My dad worked in Beverly Hills. He was a builder architect. And my mom is actually from Switzerland. So she's very normal. And like all of the things that I have that I credit to being like somewhat of a stand-up human and know what's going on is because of her, for sure.
Okay. And so you were married for a minute to the guy on the show. And did the show help propel that? Like it all sounded good and exciting and things were happening because I've been through that, and it's a train and you think you can't get off and everybody's expecting it and it's a terrible thing.
But then you also, I don't know how your experience was, but then you also like, it is something you really want in that moment. So it's not, for me, looking back, we were together for 6 years. We had a really wonderful relationship. I can't say anything but nice things about him. He truly is a nice person. I definitely think probably more on his end, they were like, well, what's going to happen? Like, what's going on with the next season? Like, are you proposing? And I think he wanted to do, I think he would have, had he not proposed, we probably would have broken up a year later. Do you know what I mean?
Interesting. Yeah. But I'm saying these TV shows it's just add water. You don't realize it. And it all is fun. Like, let's put it this way. I never really go anywhere and I never really like wear anything. I just have all this stuff that I look at because I'm just a real, very, very serious homebody. Not like a thing I just say to be cute. It's very serious. I could go days and not leave the house. I do go days and not leave the house. Right. So when I was on The Housewives, it was great for me in a sense because it gave me a reason to like put on clothes and pretend that I like do things and go somewhere. And I was really going somewhere. And I would never entertain, for example, but then because of the show, I would entertain. I would have like people over. So you're double dipping. Oh, I'm using that living room in that gorgeous house I have. So it's real, but it's because of the show. So I'm saying you're doing these things that are like meta because the show is having this happen and you're having this happen and it becomes more exciting and like,
it's insular. You're like in a tunnel where you're like, this is of course supposed to be the next step. And yeah, of course they're all real, but it is being motivated by the larger picture.
That's what I'm saying. It's like shinier. It's like shinier and more accentuated. And it's true.
It is
but
true.
If the cameras weren't happening and this experience wasn't happening, it wouldn't be the same. It's like if the tree fell and no one heard it, it would be different. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, no, you're completely right. I think that for my particular experience, like the goal was always to get married prior to the show or any influence, let's say influence from the show. I just think that if the show wasn't happening, maybe it wouldn't have happened at that particular moment. But then I look back and I was very much like, well, when are we getting engaged? Because if we're not getting engaged,
I get it.
Break up.
Same.
It's a whole whirlpool of just like craziness.
Exactly.
So the relationship, the way I can look at it was, yes, I think it was perpetuated by the next step was perpetuated, maybe the timing by the show, but we definitely, that was our intention the whole time. And
I fully get it.
Yeah.
It
and the
just
relationship ended when it was supposed to end. Like it wasn't supposed to be my long-term life marriage.
Right. But also it's hard to see things as they really are while you're in that frenzy. So like the show's not happening and then you like look at your life as it really is without this, with some structure and normalcy.
Yeah.
So the Daily Pop stopped.
They canceled it. They stopped both. It was called Daily Pop and then Nightly Pop. They ended both of those in October.
Oh, it's recent. Okay.
It was like 3 years ago, but it wasn't. And so, yeah, I did that I was there for 5 years total. And then I did a show called Necessary Realness for them, which was online. And then I did another Snapchat show with them called What the Fashion. So I did 4 shows for them over the 5 years.
And you're still connected to them, or like, what are you doing now? What do you want to be doing? And
I got my last check from them like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Not connected to them at all. And then I'm working on another TV show, another project. I definitely want to continue working, but also the schedule I had working at E was, it was hardcore. I had to get up at 5 every single day. I was there
really?
The day. I had to be there at 5:30, 5:45, 6 for hair and makeup. Like it was so full on.
That's too much.
It was 5 days a week. It also never stopped. They didn't break for holidays.
Wow.
It was 365. So, most shows film for the year and then they stop for the summer. This was year round. So
it's very interesting because it's like an archaic model. It's almost like you're like the studio owns you. You know what I mean? Like you're attached to a studio. So you have a salary, but you're doing shows. It's just like a different model.
It's so, and I literally coming off that ride, it took me like 2 months to even get I was so beyond fatigued and didn't even realize.
That's nice. That's nice to like let it go. And you're probably still coming down. It's not that, it's like
completely.
After having a baby, you're not really normal for a while.
A long time. I had 2 babies in 2 years. I was still working throughout both babies. It was wild times.
So how old are your kids now?
So my daughter is going to be 2 tomorrow and my son is going to be 1 on Friday.
So that's insane.
Oh, it was insane.
Because a lot of guilt, a lot of torn.
It was, I was like, just all of it was, getting pregnant that fast was just the most shocking thing that I think happened. And they're literally a year and a day apart.
Wow. Are you done? So done. Beyond
done.
Yeah. Cooked.
Done.
And what's your husband's name is, I'm sorry, it's Jordan or
Jordan.
Okay. Because I didn't want to mix it with the ex. So your husband's name is Jordan and he's in the entertainment industry also?
Yeah. Well, he's a musician. So yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Okay. And does he go on tour and he's got his own crazy life?
Goes on tour, has done tours. Like I think last year he was on tour. He went out with the Jonas Brothers. He opened up for them, which was amazing. So that was crazy. So then I was like pregnant with one baby, brought the other baby, was with him. Like I moved to New York for 3 weeks to kind of like hub out of there. It's been a lot the last few years.
It sounds like it. And so he can't say it. He doesn't. Did he look at you like, what the hell are you doing with all this, with the 2 kids and with the schedule, or no? Because he's living a crazy life too. Like, are you both?
I think he was really supportive, and I think he knows how important it is for me as a human being to work. Like, I just am not that person. There's absolutely no shame in being a stay-at-home mother. I think it's wonderful to be with your children if you want to do that all day. I just know for me, being the best version of myself, I have to have something to do. Even like my days, I'm just like in the same yoga pants every day because I'm like, there's nowhere for me to really be. And that lack of purpose kind of sends me on a bit of a...
I'm in it. I'm much older than you, but I'm in that stage. I have a very big business and a lot of stuff going on, but I am in that stage, but you'll get to that stage where you don't really want, like, you don't even know that you want like the slightest bit of purpose, but you don't want that much purpose. Yeah. Like it'll come and you'll remember that I said this to you because it'll be very unique. You'll have been on the treadmill and known how it feels to be exhausted, but then sort of want to get on again or a different treadmill. Then you'll get to a point where you're like, I really just don't want to be on any treadmill. It's really interesting because you got to get to 50 and then you'll see, but we have ways for that. So, so you're with Jordan. How did you guys meet?
We actually dated 10 years ago for the first time. So before I met my last husband, we were together for a year and a half. We lived together. He was actually dating a friend of mine. And then they broke up. We weren't that close. I told her straight up. Right. It was one of the most awkward conversations. I was like, listen, this is weird, but we're going to go for this. And we dated for a year and a half. We broke up. Did not keep in touch at all. I randomly.
Why did you break up?
We just were young and it just wasn't
too much.
It was just too much. We were just children. And so, we did not keep in touch whatsoever. And most of the boyfriends that I had prior to him, like all went to Beverly High and all kind of, were between Cannon and Beverly Drive. And I saw everybody every single day. He was like the first boyfriend I had that like we dated for the year and a half. We broke up and that was it. And I randomly kind of kept in touch with his older brother here and there for random things. And then I would see his parents around and we kind of had like a connection somehow. And then I got married and then divorced and he was in a long-term relationship. And then he kind of literally DM'd me and was like, hi. And I was like, I'm not a fucking moron. Like, I'm not going, you're doing whatever you're doing. You're traveling. Like, I am getting a divorce.
How did you know everything he's doing?
I just knew through the grapevine.
But you really hadn't seen him at all for years.
Nothing. I had seen him his brother randomly invited me and my ex-husband to a white party they were having like 3 years prior. And I saw him for 2 seconds and I went up to be like, hi, how are you? And he was so like, not that friend. He was like, hey. And I was like, oh, okay.
Well, but everyone knows each other in that small world. And so, and he's Dr. Drew's son. No, Dr. Phil's son. Sorry, I know Dr. Drew and I like that.
But I love Dr. Drew, I will say.
Yeah, he's amazing. So he's Dr. Phil's son.
Yes.
So he's got a little swag. He's got game. I assume I'm going to look him up. I assume he's good looking. So does he have a look? Is he have game and that like, you know what I mean? Like he thinks he's hot. And he's a musician. He's a little bit of a hot stepper.
There's literally no douchery to this one. He's like funny,
he's cute,
nerdy, sweet, like very, sweet.
He looks like that?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
And most importantly, like quite intelligent.
Okay. So no douchebaggery. No. He DMs you. So he just was intrigued.
Yeah. Just was like, what's up? How's it going? We chatted for a few months and then I ended up seeing him in New York, like 2019. And I literally didn't even want to go. I'm like, I'm not even going to do this.
What? And he was texting you to go get a drink and you weren't doing it because he was dumb. It was nothing going to end in anything.
I was like, I'm not going to go through, like, I'm going through enough right now. I don't need to deal with that. So I saw him there. We hung out. It was like, fine. He continued to chat. It was Then I went to Mexico for New Year's. He was still on tour. I slammed my hand in the door randomly. It was like one of those doors where you slide and then the other one came sliding. So I had to go to the hospital. It was and then I was really at a breaking point. And I was like, what is this year? This is so fucked. Like, just let me live for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then he sent flowers to Mexico.
Because you were hurt.
My hand. And I was like, that's kind of like serious. That was December. And then he came back. We hung out for January. And then the world got shut down.
That's how long ago? I don't do time. I don't know anything.
Same. The start of 3 years ago now. I mean,
okay. No, Paul could do, that was 92. That was 70. Yeah. I don't know what year. I sometimes ask what year it is. I don't know 2017's. So that was 3 years ago. Okay. Got it.
I'm the exact same way. It's funny, but that's my only frame of reference. And then January, we were kind of like living together. I had an apartment. And by May,
what do you mean January you were living together, had an apartment? You said this was December.
December I was on vacation. He sent me flowers. We got back from the trip. He got back from tour. So January we were like hanging out. I had an apartment. We were like, he was living at a hotel. And then he rented a house because he was selling his house. And I basically like ended up moving into that house. Still going home, but spending most of my time. This is when
you're a single human being. You're young. You've got fucking rich, hot musician, and you're going to do this for the pandemic. I love this.
And we at this point, we didn't know the pandemic was going to be the pandemic. So I was very much like, I pay for my own rent. I pay for my own clothes. I pay for my own health insurance. I am an independent woman. I am not going to like get swept up in this. I still pay. So I made a rule to like sleep home for a few nights a week. And that lasted about a month. And then January, we were fully living together at that point, or March. And then by May, we were pregnant.
Stop.
With our first child.
What?
Yes. My birthday is May 22nd.
6 months.
I got pregnant.
Oh.
For the first time we ever had unprotected sex. The first ever.
This is like knocked up. That's hysterical that you worked at E because you're this is knocked up. Except for that he's not. You like it. Yeah. You love him. But they left that's hilarious. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And then July, we got engaged. December, we got married. I gave birth in February.
Jesus.
And then we did it all again because in May, again, I got pregnant. I hadn't even had, I mean, this, I don't know how much we can say on this show. I hadn't even had like a full period. I mean, you have a baby, your system is worked. And May, it was my birthday again. I guess that's when we do things. And literally, I found out when I was 8 weeks, he's like, don't make a joke. It's positive. We know you're just feeling like shit. Right. It's fine. You're right. I looked away for 1 second on that test. 1 second. I was like, and it said, and I literally could not move for 3 minutes. And I went to the doctor and she literally said to me, your due date is February 17th. My daughter's due date was February 14th. I had her on the 16th. So I had him on the 17th. So they are 1 year and 1 day.
It's ridiculous. It's like Jiffy Life. Like you must be so exhausted. I think it's great that this all like this ended, this thing for a moment. Like you need a breath because you'll crack. You can't get out without paying the bill. It will come some other place. That's 100% insane. Okay. So that's amazing. Okay. And you have a good relationship and a good kids. How do you stay connected with all these parts? Because I am in a relationship with someone who lives in a different state and it works. It works because there comes a time when you're honest about like not what a relationship should be, but what a relationship actually is. And that if you're a person who really likes your own time, and I used to not even know that I wanted to have my own time in a relationship because I didn't have the same career and the same kids. So it was always, what are we doing? What do we do? I have one life with my child. I have one life with Paul and the blending. I have one life with my work and one life on my own. And I love them all. Yeah. So it's not fantasy, it's reality. And and it's not easy to stay connected, but then Cheryl Hines said you do these amazing things and you bank these new memories and you live off of those. Like we just went to Puerto Rico and we hadn't been on an alone vacation for a year that was romantic. And we came in on fumes and we went and now we have that to bank. So we have a little spring in our step. And then we'll hate each other in a couple of weeks and need something to get us to the next thing. But anyway, it's a very realistic relationship, which it may not sound sexy, but so I ask you, because I'm hearing all these ingredients, no different than hearing about Ben Affleck and Jennifer, 72 red carpet events in 1 year, wide leg jeans in July in Italy. He's an addict. They have kids. They have breakup. This cannot be perfect.
The wide leg jeans in July in Italy really just speaks to me on
because it's in the city. You're wearing wide leg camel toe thick jeans in a metropolis in Europe. That alone I'd break up with Paul. I'd be like, I couldn't handle it. It was the wide leg paparazzi jeans. I'm done.
No, I'm with you 100%. And that's the other thing. That's somebody that doesn't want to have that balance, right? Like what you were saying earlier, how
machine.
At a certain age, she wants to be the biggest star in the entire world in every facet, whether it's makeup. I don't want to be that person. I think for us, this is also something that I'm so acutely aware of in terms of we're very fortunate people. So me telling you, we really get to prioritize our relationship because we are fortunate enough to have people that help us with our children, right? So we are able to go out for dinner and be together. And, I know my kids are taken care of. I know that I'm a damn good mother. I'm with them as much as I possibly can be. I guide them. I'm patient. I drive them to all the things. But we really make it a priority to be together with zero kid shit. Now we're lucky we get to do that.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Not everyone gets to do that. That's even before we had kids, we had the conversation this is going to get really gnarly. And it's so easy to be and we are exhausted, right? I just came, he didn't have COVID. I was alone with both of them. And I saved him because I was I want you to stay healthy because I don't want, God forbid, you to get sick.
Where did he go?
He stayed in his little studio in the back. He quarantined away from us, but I'd rather him be clear. But that's sort of what we do. But he might, I was just thinking yesterday, he might go on tour again. What's that going to look like? That's going to be a shift. That's going to be difficult. Now the kids are older. They have more things that they're doing. And I'm going to have to fly to you. You're going to have to fly home.
And it's going to be exhausting. It's going to sound cute in the beginning. And then it's going to be just awful. No, yeah, awful. Yeah, exactly.
Awful. So we'll have to take it I think you just take it as it comes.
Exactly. You do take it as it comes. But just know that it's amazing if you just make the right decisions and you live in reality versus theory. So how do your in-laws get together? So you've got normal parents and you got Dr. Phil
Yep.
And is he still married? No, they're not. I'm not
Yes,
getting into
no,
that.
no,
Oh, they are.
they're married. I'm obsessed. My mother-in-law and I, from the moment we met, we always had like a little bit of a connection. She has only 2 boys, but her and I have always
Nice.
we've had our thing. I don't know. It's no bullshit. We are just like, I think when I was younger, I was a little bit more like in awe of who she was. And now I'm like, I'm older and I just see like her as who she is as like a full human. And we vibe. We really
because you
connection.
met her when you were dating for a year and a half and you were
Yes.
like a child and they get
Yes.
to run the program and now you're peers in a way.
Yeah.
In a way.
And she's honestly, I would rather not be peers with any other human but her. She is wonderful. And that was one of the first things I was like, oh my God, how are our parents going to sit together at dinner? Like, this is just, it's seamless.
Oh, they love each other. Like you could travel together?
We could travel together. My mom and her and his mom like email and chat and like can get drinks. Like because they're so normal.
Wasn't she involved in his business? I feel like was she ever involved in his business?
So she does the show with him. They've had the show for 22 years and she's walked on and off that show with him every single day.
So they're nauseatingly best friends too?
It's like, I hate to say it because it sounds like such bullshit, but like, it's literally like you walk in and they're like at their kitchen counter, like eating pie. And you're like, what?
Okay. Wow. Okay. So then you have 2 nauseatingly perfect parents. So you have a good shot. Okay. So, and wait, you just left his show. So their show just ended too.
Yes. Well, that was he decided that. I didn't decide my fate, but yes.
Right. But okay. I'm saying everybody's got more free time. So like, so Dr. Phil and his wife will just pop over and see the baby. What's that like?
That is the funniest. So everyone is always like, so are they always over? Are they always popping?
No way, right? Boundaries.
Nobody, but most mother-in-laws are not like that. They're all pushy. My mother is weirdly like neurotic, crazy, has her own shit, is not pushy, does not come over. And my mother-in-law is like, let me know if something works for you. If it doesn't, I know you're like, I never feel like people are coming in at both sides.
Boundaries.
It's boundaried because the day is busy and we have shit going on and we can't have grandma coming in every second of every day. And they totally get that. I'm sure
they also know what it's like to be like, have a pit crew descended upon them and like know what privacy means. I mean, I have in-laws too that are like amazing. Like they're not coming over and sleeping on the pullout. They're their own human beings and they are way more social than we are and have their own lives. And there are a lot of boundaries. It's amazing. It's called like meals, shopping, all the good. It's all the positive.
That's so true. I think that's another really big benefit that my in-laws are really busy. Like they are busy and like he's going to continue to do some other stuff. So it's not like they're ever going to be the people that have like a totally free Wednesday to come like knock on the door.
Yeah, but you're a fully like entertainment industry unit. That's interesting.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
How much are you talking about the business to them? Like how much are you and your husband talking to Phil and his wife about like the entertainment industry and the business? And would you ever work on projects together? That's a weird thing to
would
ask.
like, I know there's that whole like nepotism talk, baby talk or whatever. Like sign me up for nepotism daughter-in-law. Like I will take it all day. I picked my father-in-law's brain all day. I spoke to him like when I was doing my last renegotiation and I was literally had to stop him and be like, this is cable. We're not talking about millions of dollars right now. Like you're asking me to like ask for the back end of, I'm like, this is not.
Right. You're getting shares in Viacom. And he's like you're talking about a puppet show. And
I'm talking about like literally under 200. Like this is not the same bar. We have to reset. I don't know what you're saying. But I have this idea that I'm working on. And I was actually supposed to go over. I sent him a deck literally 2 weeks ago to talk to him about it because he's clearly done something right. He's been on the air for however long.
2,000 years.
And number one, that doesn't happen anymore.
Insane.
Like, insane. And I got COVID. So I'm supposed to go there tomorrow. But
are you intimidated though? Or do you you'll just call casually or there is a boundary? Because like I feel there's a little like sometimes you tell me. Is there like
I definitely think no, I will text and call. He loves it. They like me.
Great.
I hope. When I see him, I'm always like a little bit like, oh, you're like that big. Like he has a big presence. He's a big person. He talks quickly. He's very with it. So I'm kind of sitting there like, what is he talking about? Ads? Like no. So
you appreciate, you're a little good intimidated. You appreciate the time. You're not trying to waste his time with nonsense garbage, baby.
Totally. I don't want to seem like an idiot, but he also definitely takes, like, he doesn't need to take the time to do. He could be like, that's your my son's
No,
wife.
but I like this dynamic because I understand this dynamic of you feeling good that you are with you're with a man who has a very successful family, and you know that you have earned your seat at the table, and you don't feel like they think you're that dumb girl that's marrying the guy for that reason, because you are successful in your own right and you've made something of yourself. It's not that easy. I get the whole thing.
Total. And I think you're so right. I came in with some built-in respect. And also my husband didn't marry any of those girlfriends, right? Like he had plenty of girlfriends in between. I think it was really important for him on the guy's side of things. Like,
yes,
so I need somebody, he's very strong in his purpose. He's like fortunate that he gets to pursue his dream every single day. He takes it seriously. He's all day. I'm kind of like, are you done yet? And he's kind of like, this might not seem like work to you, but I'm doing this shit all day. And I think it was important for him to have a partner that wasn't like gonna just shop all day. I shop all day, but I also work all day.
I get it. You at least leave the house. So there you go. You should just come over here and take all my stuff. How do you extend your 15 minutes? Like, and it's funny because I don't think of you, I wouldn't have even, like, I now know who you are, but I didn't realize you were that same person from that show. Like, I've had to reconnect that for myself. So that's good and something I can relate to. You've definitely become your own being separate from that. And that's amazing. And so now how do you keep extending it? Like, what is your real goal?
My real goal is to continue down the path that I'm on. Like, I'm really trying to have a vessel on television that incorporates who I am, like 360, like not the rich kid, not the variation of like that person now on E that's like sort of got a little bit of that, but like is kind of reading what other people are telling me to read. Like I need something that's going to showcase like all different parts of me, which is something I'm working on, and hopefully people will like it. And it
got
works.
it, because I see the fashion comes through. That's a thing.
I love. I mean, but even that I don't even get the credit for, so I appreciate it. But I love fashion, but there's just, I think I connect with people pretty easily and not in like a bullshitty type of way. And I want that to kind of start to transcend and come out. I feel like I've been in this like little bit of a box my entire career, which is now like crazy to say, but it's been like
I feel like you could do a talk show, and it's a terrible. Oh my God, I hated it more than anything I've ever done. But there could be a way that you could do that where it would not be insufferable.
That's what I would like. That's what I am trying to iron out.
But I could see that. I think that would work. But that's a grind. So you have to find a way that's not torture, and you have to be honest. It's when I remember getting a talk show, and I was out in LA, and I was with my best friend, and I had too much to drink, and I said to her, why the hell am I doing? Like, because but it's one of these things you're supposed to want. Someone hands you a diamond. You're like, of course I want it. Of course. Why wouldn't you want a diamond? You're supposed to want a diamond. Everybody wants it. I don't like to be handled. I don't like the pit crew on me. I'm a very antisocial person, and I don't like to direct traffic and traffic to be directed. Everything that I don't like, well, it was. So you have to be so honest with who you really are, because it seems so great to do certain things. But like, if you're honest, as you get older, you keep getting more, and then you just say no to things, or figure out a way to make it exactly how you need it to be. Because I could see you talking.
What was the film schedule like, just quickly? Like, were you filming all year, or did you film for a few months and then go crazy and then get to go?
I think you were off a certain period of time. It was only one season, but they had to do 2 shows a day. But with my daughter, you're used to getting up at 5, and you had to wake up and be in there at 6:45. It's everything. I don't sleep late. I get up at 6, but it has to be on my terms. Someday I may wake up at 7. I cannot be corralled. I cannot be forced. I am just like a loose horse. So it's not for me. I cannot. It has to be very. This is perfect. This has been wildly successful. Shocking to me. Not shocking, but like the amount of success that these shows have been, and it's because it's perfect for me. Like this just structure. I love talking to you. It was so unbelievable. I have one more thing. Of course. The rose and thorn of your career.
Oh my God, this is so different. I don't even know how to simplify what it is. I mean, the rose is obviously feeling successful, feeling purpose, feeling like I can connect to people. And then the thorn is maybe not being showcased in the most authentic way. Is that good?
It's not coming. Who you really are has not come through on these projects.
No. Yeah. I guess. It's not fully me yet. And I'm just like ready to break through that level.
Because it's hosty.
It's hosty. It's a little, it's removed. It's, it's not.
I get it.
It's a little vapid. It's just not.
I've been there, and
vapid, but not that.
No. I get it. It's happened for years. You're amazing.
Thank you so much.
So good. I'm so happy.
And I have to tell you, my mom loves you. She's like, I love that Bethenny. So real, not full of shit like these other. I'm like, okay. So she loves
yay! All right, well, maybe I'll get to meet her.
Yes.
I've had so much fun because I get to meet people here that I get to know. So now I feel like I know you. So
yes,
maybe one time in LA we'll get together.
Nice to meet you. I'll see you later.
Have a great day. God, I keep loving the show. Every time I do the show, I do homework. I think, am I going to have something to talk about? I don't even know who someone is for the most part. Like, I know who they are, but I don't really know anything about them. And the Juicy Center is so great. What a great thing. I don't think that anyone's ever heard half of what Morgan Stewart just said. I think she's so interesting. I'm so grateful if the show can highlight someone in a way that you would never have known that they were. Meaning, like, Kelly Ripa said this was the best interview she ever did, and I know that people got things from her that they've never gotten anywhere else. And also, she said things that she's definitely not told anybody. It's really nice to have these honest conversations and get to the depths of who they are, and I'm really excited. I'm so excited to do this with you, and it's so different from Rewives that I also sit in this chair and have a completely different conversation. So I love it. Thank you so much. Rate, review, and subscribe, and let me know what you thought.